Alright, y'all, we gotta have a conversation about Boruto Uzumaki and Two Blue Vortex, because this character is getting a little out of hand. This man Masashi Kishimoto out here making a character that's godlike among all shonen MCs right now. This character is looking broken, bro. He looking broke as hell. Boruto Two Blue Vortex chapter 3 ain't make this no easier, man, because at the end of the chapter, we low-key got a little surprise that was left for us. Masashi left us some crumbs to play with, you feel me? He left us a little some in the back, and I think y'all know what I'm talking about because y'all probably saw the title of the video. But Boruto might actually have Sage Mode, and I wanted to talk about that in this video, because if he has Sage Mode, this might make the strength level of this character completely different, and he's already showing us some broken abilities in the 3rd chapter of the Timeskip already. So we need to talk about this for real. But if we're gonna talk about Boruto having Sage Mode, I feel like it's best if we're gonna separate this video into 3 parts, which is explaining what Sage Mode is for the people that don't know. Then we're going to talk about how you learn Sage Mode, and then we're going to talk about how Boruto could have learned Sage Mode over these past 3 years and how Kashin Koji is somehow linked to that. So, but without further ado, let's get into today's video. All right, first things first, we need to talk about Sage Mode and what actually is Sage Mode for the people who are probably new to the series, for the people who probably are, starting the Naruto franchise off with Boruto itself and don't really know what Sage Mode is. So we're going to talk about it briefly. So basically, Sage Mode is a technique that allows the user to blend nature energy with one's chakra to create something called Senjutsu. Now, Sage Mode boosts not only someone's physical strength, but it also boosts the user's speed, reflexes, stamina, perception, durability, and whatever the case may be. In addition to physical properties, it also makes the user's ninjutsu and taijutsu better in those aspects as well. There's a few characters in the series that we've seen use Sage Mode, from the likes of Jiraiya to Naruto, obviously, to Minato, to Kabuto, and even to Mitsuki now in Boruto Naruto Next Generation. So we have a couple Sage Mode users, and in this video we're going to talk about Toad Sage Mode specifically as it relates to Boruto and how he could potentially have Sage Mode. Now, to learn Sage Mode, I think it's important that we know that there's 2 places that Sage Mode can be learned, and that's Mount Miyoboku for Toad Sage and Ryuchi Cave for Snake Sage Mode. Now, there's certain exceptions to this rule, one of them being Mitsuki, who did not have to go to Ryuchi Cave to have a perfect version of his snake or dragon snake Sage Mode, whatever you want to call it. And then there's Kashin Koji, who is also a clone of Jiraiya, but I should note that he's a perfect version of Jiraiya in terms because Jiraiya himself did not have a perfect Sage Mode. His Sage Mode was imperfect, but Kashin Koji was made with a perfected version of the Sage Mode that Jiraiya used. So now we're going to talk about how Boruto could have actually learned Sage Mode. And the whole reason for this video is because in Boruto Two Blue Vortex chapter 3, we had at the end of the chapter, Boruto actually exchanged some words with toads. He had a toad in his cloak and he had a toad in Code's clothes, which he then used to look and locate where the Ten Tails was hiding after Code fled the battle, when Boruto was putting the pause on him for a good minute. Boruto now knows where the Ten Tails is, but more importantly than that, Boruto has toads both in the Ten Tails dimension and with him right now that he's using to communicate with, but there's someone talking to him through these toads, and that person might very well be Kashin Koji. A lot of people are wondering if Kashin Koji is the one that's teaming up with Boruto in this situation, and if Boruto has Sage Mode. Now, in this video, I want to talk about Sage Mode with him because obviously that's what the title of the video is, and I want to point out a couple things. So first things first, Kashin Koji. We know that Kashin Koji hasn't been seen in the Boruto series since July of 2020. when we had him versus Ishiki after they made Ishiki revive through Jigen's body. Kashin Koji hasn't been seen since because he was actually forced to leave and flee the fight via a reverse summoning that he used with his steam toad. Now, Kashin Koji is a clone of Jiraiya, but he's also a perfect sage, which Jiraiya never was. I think it's important to note that there's also other clones in the series. One notably that I want to bring out in this video is actually Amato's daughter. Now, Delta is also a perfect clone. Delta does not have all the personality traits that his daughter originally had, but in terms of memories, in terms of the way she looks, she's a perfect version of Amato's dead daughter. Now, Amato did point out that when he makes these clones have all the memories of the previous user, and that's very important. Kashin Koji is a clone of Jiraiya, which means that Kashin Koji has all the memories that Jiraiya has, which would make sense because there's been times in the series where Kashin Koji has been showing sides of Jiraiya's memories or personality traits being embedded within him, whether it was when Kashin Koji was in the Leaf in episode 213, where he was saying how he was starting to feel sentimental, and he also said how he didn't even really need the scrolls to begin with, but he was beginning to have a little bit more fun with the mission itself, and the fact that he knows a lot of the characters already from experience because he has Jiraiya's memories. With that being said, Kashin Koji has all the knowledge that he would need to be able to teach Boruto Sage Mode. And if he hasn't been seen in the entirety of the Boruto series from July 2020 to now, that asks a lot of questions. Where has Kashin Koji been? And we haven't seen any of the training or anything that's going on with Boruto in the past 3 years. Kashin Koji has toads, and he has a toad summoning. And even though some of those toads can be shrunken, they're not real toads, some of those toads are scientifically made and are used for things like surveillance, infiltration, etc. And we have seen Kashin Koji use these toads the same way. We've seen Kashin Koji use toads when he snuck in a toad during the battle against Jougan with Naruto and Sasuke. We've seen a toad be used at Naruto's house while he was watching Kawaki when Kashin Koji was in the village. Kashin Koji has, experience using these toads for surveillance. The only thing we haven't seen Kashin Koji do that was shown in the new chapter was being able to speak through the toads, and that was something that we did. But if you look closely between these toads and the toads that Kashin Koji used to use, they're identical in look. The way that they look are absolutely identical. The only toad that we've ever seen Kashin Koji use that has ever not been shrunk was his steam toad. But in terms of his other toad, they have all been very similar in look. The only toad that's different is steam toad, because steam toad has what seems to look like a few belts or some ridges on his forehead. But every other toad that he's used has been the same. Kashin Koji with Jiraiya's memories could also be able to teach Boruto Sage Mode. It would be different if Kashin Koji was just a clone and didn't have the memories, but since Kashin Koji not only is a perfect sage but also has the knowledge and the memories of Jiraiya, he is one of the only people, actually the only person right now on Earth that could teach Boruto Toad Sage Mode specifically. Kashin Koji, we don't know if Kashin Koji has been to Mount Myoboku himself, but he has said that he's been to the Flaming Mountains. And Kashin Koji, even if he hasn't been to Mount Myoboku, he still has access to it, knows where Mount Myoboku is, and he knows what it would take to be able to learn Sage Mode efficiently. And Boruto has been a genius the entire series. There's never been anything that Boruto has struggled with, and the fact that we haven't seen Kashin Koji yet, and Sasuke doesn't really seem to, be in play at this current moment in the series. The one thing that we can really point to is Kashin Koji being the one, and since Kashin Koji is also the only one in the Boruto series that uses toads, Kashin Koji being the person to be either Boruto's teacher, an additional sensei, or to teach Boruto Sage Mode isn't out of the realm of thinking. And Masashi Kishimoto is definitely showing us that he wants to make a broken-ass character, a character that can probably solo everybody in all of Shounen. And adding Sage Mode on top of that isn't really something that's a surprise to me. It wouldn't be something that would be unexpected. And we've also had Boruto in a previous ending in the Boruto anime actually have Sage Mode, use Fire Style, and have toads in the ending. Boruto by himself, nobody else. So there's a lot of little things here and there to really suggest that Kashin Koji is the one that was teaching Boruto how to use these toads and potentially teach Boruto about Sage Mode and how to use Sage Mode in the time skip. And it would be really good against the looming threats that's here to come, because a lot of Osusuki can do certain things like absorbing ninjutsu and whatnot, but we've seen that senjutsu can be effective against a lot of these characters. So Boruto was to learn Sage Mode, it wouldn't surprise me. But y'all let me know how y'all feel, man. Do you guys think Boruto has Sage Mode or Boruto doesn't have Sage Mode? You think Kashin Koji is back in the series? Do you think Kashin Koji is one of Boruto's teachers? Do you think Kashin Koji could have taught him Sage Mode? Let me know in the comment section below. But until then, it's been your boy Av. Welcome to the block, and I'll see y'all in the next video.